The UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders has also spoken out. He said that Bobi Wine, as an opposition leader and a human rights defender, is entitled to special protection under international law. His detention without charge, without access to lawyers, without even his family knowing where he is being held, this is completely unacceptable. The Special Rapporteur has demanded that Museveni's government provide immediate information about Bobi Wine's location and condition. Now I want to talk about why this UN warning is so important. You see, my brothers and sisters, when the international community speaks with one voice like this, it sends a powerful message. It tells dictators and those who abuse power that they cannot hide behind their borders. It tells them that human rights are universal and that the world will hold them accountable when they violate these rights. The United Nations has made it very clear that what is happening in Uganda is not an internal matter that the world should ignore. No, this is a matter of international concern because it involves fundamental human rights that every person on this earth is entitled to, regardless of which country they live in. The UN has also pointed out something very important. They have noted that Bobi Wine's abduction happened at a very suspicious time. It happened while the Electoral Commission was still counting votes. It happened while Bobi Wine was speaking out about irregularities in the election process. It happened while he was raising concerns about the legitimacy of the results being announced. This timing, the UN says, suggests that Bobi Wine was taken specifically to silence him, to prevent him from challenging the election results, to stop him from mobilizing his supporters. This is what the UN calls a politically motivated detention. And under international law, politically motivated detentions are strictly prohibited. Every country that has signed the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and Uganda is one of them, has agreed not to detain people for their political opinions or activities. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has also weighed in on this matter. He has expressed grave concern about the deteriorating human rights situation in Uganda. He has mentioned that Bobi Wine's abduction is not an isolated incident. There have been reports of at least 10 people killed in post-election violence. There have been reports of security forces using excessive force against peaceful protesters. There have been reports of journalists being harassed and arrested for covering the elections. All of this, the High Commissioner says, points to a systematic pattern of repression by the Ugandan government. And he is warning Museveni that this pattern must stop immediately. He is saying that Uganda has obligations under international law to protect the rights of all its citizens, including those who oppose the government. My brothers and sisters, I want to explain to you what this UN warning means for Africa. You see, when the UN has to warn an African leader about human rights violations, this affects all of us. It reinforces the negative stereotypes that some people in the world have about Africa. It makes people think that we Africans cannot govern ourselves democratically. It makes them think that we need outside intervention to protect our own people. This is why I am so passionate about this issue. This is why I am standing here today to add my voice to the UN's warning. We Africans must show the world that we can uphold democratic principles. We must show that we can respect human rights. We must show that we can have peaceful transfers of power. And when one of our leaders fails to do this, we must speak out loudly and clearly. President Museveni, I am speaking to you directly now. The United Nations has warned you. The international community is watching you. But more importantly, your fellow African leaders are watching you. We are all waiting to see what you will do. Will you heed this warning? Will you release Bobi Wine? Will you respect the democratic process? Or will you continue down this dangerous path? Let me tell you what will happen if you ignore this UN warning. First, Uganda will face international isolation. Countries around the world will start to distance themselves from your government. Diplomatic relations will suffer. Economic partnerships will be affected. Uganda's reputation on the global stage will be damaged, perhaps irreparably. Second, there will be sanctions. The UN Security Council can impose sanctions on Uganda. Individual members of your government can be sanctioned. Assets can be frozen. Travel bans can be imposed. Is this what you want for your country? Is this what you want for your officials? Third, there is the possibility of referral to the International Criminal Court. The ICC has jurisdiction over crimes against humanity, and enforced disappearance is considered such a crime under the Rome Statute. Do you want to risk having ICC arrest warrants issued against you and your officials? But beyond all these international consequences, Mr. President, think about what this means for Uganda itself. Think about the young people of Uganda who are watching this situation unfold. What message are you sending to them? You are telling them that might makes right. You are telling them that democracy is just a game. Or you are telling them that their votes do not matter because the military can simply come and take away the leader they choose. Is this the Uganda you want to leave behind? Is this your legacy? The United Nations has given you a clear pathway out of this crisis. Release Bobi Wine immediately. Allow him to return to his home and his family. Allow him to participate freely in the democratic process. If you believe you have won the election fairly, then you should have no fear of Bobi Wine speaking out. Let him make his case. Let him present his evidence. Let the proper legal and electoral processes handle any disputes. My brothers and sisters, I also want to address the role that we as African leaders must play in this situation. The UN warning is important, yes, but we cannot always rely on international bodies to solve African problems. We must take responsibility ourselves. This is why I am calling on the African Union to take strong action on this matter. The African Union has principles and protocols about democratic governance. We have the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance. This charter clearly states that unconstitutional changes of government are not acceptable. It clearly states that member states must respect human rights and the rule of law. If the military in Uganda is preventing the rightful winner of an election from taking power by keeping Bobi Wine in detention, this is an unconstitutional change of government. The African Union must invoke its protocols. It must send a high-level delegation to Uganda. It must demand access to Bobi Wine to verify his safety and well-being. And if Museveni refuses to cooperate, the AU must be prepared to suspend Uganda's membership. I am also calling on ECOWAS, even though Uganda is not in our region, to speak out on this matter. Human rights violations anywhere in Africa are a concern for all of us. We must show solidarity with the people of Uganda in their struggle for democracy. The UN warning also mentions something very important about the rule of law. They are reminding Museveni that even as president, he is not above the law. The military is not above the law. Everyone must respect the constitution and the legal processes of the country. You cannot just send a helicopter